Please welcome to the stage Grace Goheen.
Welcome, everyone. Congratulations on making it to the final day of Coalesce. I have really enjoyed connecting with so many of you this week, and today is the day where we get to celebrate all of you, the community, whether you're joining online or here in this room, and talk about the ways that we are innovating in open source. As Tristan said on Tuesday, none of this happens without all of you. Today, we have over 100,000 community members. Wherever you're joining in from, thank you for making this community what it is today. To help me talk about all of the ways that we are innovating in DBT Core, I'd like to welcome to the stage Jeremy Cohen.
Hi, Grace.
Hi, Jeremy. For those of you who don't know, Jeremy was the product manager of DBT Core before me.
You get to wear a lot of hats in this role. YAML designer, open source maintainer, community builder, defender of the DB tonic. Let's talk about DBT Core, shall we?
Well, it's bigger than ever before. The number of people who are using it, the number of people who are working on making it better every single day, the kinds of companies who've decided to put it at the center of their data strategy.
It's a really special journey that we've been on. And we're still on this journey together. You know, I remember back in April of last year, right before the DBT Core 1.5 release, I wrote this blog post / manifesto that had my personal mission statement in it. The two things I believe to be true about DBT. It's the right tool for the job, for the people who do this work every single day, and DBT Core deserves to be better. We're the right people to keep making it better every single day. I said if I ever stopped believing those two things, it would be my last day at DBT. Well, I'm still here. And I'm so excited to see us doing the kind of stuff that me in 2020 could only dream about on GitHub.
We've been talking this week a lot about one DBT. And one of the things we mean when we say that is people using both DBT Core and DBT Cloud together. For us at DBT Labs, we're always thinking about both.
And this is something that Jason Gans and I wrote about back in April. For us, DBT Cloud can't exist without DBT Core, without the framework, the community pushing forward how we do this work together. And DBT Core can't exist without DBT Cloud as a way to make this project sustainable for the long run. And as a way to expand the workflow, expand who can participate in it. If you're curious about how and where we draw the lines between core and cloud, give it a read.
The heart of the workflow is DBT Core being the standard, the best framework for data transformation. Standardizing means we're not all solving the same problems in slightly different ways. We can share our solutions because we speak the same language, the language of DBT.
And we get to do it in a way that's the right mix of opinionated, flexible, easy to understand, and just fun. Whether you're using core or cloud or a mix of both, you're doing DBT. You're a part of this community.
And it's a community of practice.
Meaning?
Meaning we can only get at the right answers by figuring them out together, because the getting there together is what makes them right. The most important way that DBT users contribute back to DBT isn't actually by opening up pull requests against our open source repos, though we love that too. It's by sharing your different approaches and what you've learned in practice. Sharing is how we all get to move up the stack.
You know, it's actually not our goal for there to be an out-of-the-box solution for every niche problem in DBT. Because one of the great strengths of DBT is being extensible. You don't need our permission. You just need a problem worth solving, a good idea for how to solve it with the tools that DBT gives you. Tools like Jinja.
Yes!
You know, maybe you hack together a solution. You get something working for your team, and that's it. Or, I know we both get to talk pretty often to folks who want to show us some of the cool code they've written and ask the question, would this ever make it into DBT? They're excited by the possibility that the answer might be yes.
Extensibility is what powers the community. A lot of the features that we worked on in DBT Core this year are things that the community has been discussing or experimenting with for years. So how do we know when it's time for something to go from possible to easy? How do we know when it's time to expand the standard?
There are a couple of signals that we look out for. Lots of people upvoting or commenting on issues in our open source repositories. Lots of DBT packages coming along to try to fill the gap in the standard. People leaving the framework rather than hacking within it to solve a problem. Or technical advancements in the ecosystem that mean a thing which used to be hard is becoming easier. This is something we take seriously. Adding new capabilities to the standard means committing for the long term. We don't want to rush it and get it wrong.
But while the framework is incredibly flexible and extensible, hacks have their limitations, and building the functionality directly into DBT Core can take us further. We had the chance to expand the standard in 3 big ways this year. Unit testing, lengthy discussions, and creative packages inspired a standard framework for unit testing your DBT models, which now thousands of DBT projects have adopted. Improvements to DBT snapshots, admitting we don't always get it right in the first cut, and we're continuing to make old features better.
Oh, snapshot, my snapshot.
That's right. And microbatch, an experimental materialization graduated to a native incremental strategy to optimize your largest data sets. We also shipped more stability for our version releases, as well as a long list of paper cuts upvoted by the community. Thank you to everyone, all of you who commented on GitHub, who joined us on Zoom for feedback sessions, who tried out our betas and helped us bash bugs.
Now, Grace, I think we should show them one of those features. And to do it, let's go back to the Jaffle shop. On Tuesday, some friends of ours from the product team here at DBT Labs told you a story about Jaffle Enterprises. They recently expanded into a new line of business by acquiring an exciting and innovative Center of the Performing Arts, which they're soon to relaunch as Cirque du Jaffle, or Cirque de Jaffle for our American audience. They faced a couple of challenges in this acquisition, which they tackled with the help of DBT. They used cross-platform DBT mesh to enable collaboration and data sharing across multiple data platforms and teams. The visual editing experience and DBT Copilot in DBT Cloud enabled their small but mighty data teams to do their work more productively, while also empowering members of the business, the marketing team, to independently contribute the data modeling that they needed. And finally, capabilities like advanced CI and data health tiles and other trust signals in DBT Cloud enabled the team to continue showing and shipping high trust, high quality data products, even as the number of contributors increased.
One DBT means for Jaffle enterprises, they can successfully launch their new venture across multiple data platforms with multiple contributors with high quality and trust for all.
Now, how much would that story change if I told you that Cirque du Jaffle was using exclusively DBT Core?
The answer? Not very much.
You see, Jaffle Enterprises has already adopted the DBT mesh pattern for enabling collaboration across their teams. They simply need to set up the Cirque project with a little bit of metadata, generate some artifacts in DBT Cloud, and those downstream teams are still empowered to build on top of those foundational data products using the development experiences in DBT Cloud. Meanwhile, the team at Cirque du Jaffle can continue developing, deploying, doing their work with DBT Core, just like before, just like they've been doing for years, so long as it's the right tool for them. And should they want to try out some of that exciting new functionality in DBT Cloud, stuff like advanced CI or auto exposures,
they can try it out whenever they want to. It's easy because it's just DBT.
See, Jaffle Enterprises has standardized on DBT Cloud as their central platform, their control plane to make the most of their metadata. And at the very same time, Jaffle Enterprises has standardized on DBT Core as their framework for data transformation. See, it's because of this standardization that they can continue to speak the same language as their new colleagues at Cirque du Jaffle. It's all one DBT.
Everyone in the DBT community, whether you use DBT Core or DBT Cloud, benefits when that standard gets stronger and better. After all, a lot of what you can do in DBT Cloud is because of what you can do in DBT Core.
Now, the team at Cirque du Jaflet found out about the DBT Core 1.9 beta, which is available now for everyone here to try out as soon as you'd like. And I think there's one feature in particular that they're really looking forward to.
Well, that's because the Cirque du Jaflet team has been struggling with the performance of their largest data set, their staged peanuts model.
See, that's one row of data per circus peanut per day. That's a whole lot of peanuts.
Even if they switch their model to be materialized incrementally, they're still worried about running into warehouse timeout issues on full refresh or initial builds. Rebuilding the whole table from a single query is just not possible. But starting in DBT Core 1.9, they can make use of the brand new microbatch incremental strategy to break up their largest data set into smaller, bite-sized batches that DBT can process individually, making their workflows faster, more reliable, and easier to manage. Let's take a look. All right, so we can see that they've set their incremental strategy to microbatch, and they've added a handful of new configs to tell DBT how to appropriately slice up their data. DBT will then evaluate which batches need to be loaded, break them up into a SQL query per batch, and load each one independently. If there's a specific historic batch that they want to reprocess, they can do so using the brand new event time start and event time end command line arguments. And if one or some of those batches fail and they end up in a partial success state, they can retry only the failed batches using DBT retry. Just like their team, you can try out the new microbatch incremental strategy for your data sets that are just too big to be built in a single query.
Who here has struggled or felt the challenge of incremental processing for large time-based data sets with DBT before? Yeah, show of hands. Okay, who's excited to give the new incremental microbatch strategy a try? And who here is excited to see some big new functionality landing in DBT Core? Round of applause, seriously. Okay. Now, Grace, if folks want to get into the details here, they can, read the documentation, maybe watch the recording from yesterday's product breakout session about DBT Core?
You just want more people to see you in your Elvis costume?
That's right.
We are so excited to get all of your feedback on these new features, especially ahead of the 1.9 final release. So all of you can try out the 1.9 beta today. If you use DBT Core, just upgrade to 1.9. And if you're on DBT Cloud, upgrade to versionless if you haven't already, and never think about upgrading again.
Okay, they're telling us we only have a couple minutes left. So, Grace, before we go, what's next for DBT Core?
Well, I'm personally very excited about the new iceberg table format, which we talked about in the keynote on Tuesday, providing folks with flexibility on where to store their data and how they can access it.
We already talked about Iceberg as an enabler for the cross-platform DBT mesh pattern. There's going to be a breakout session this morning at 10:45 with our colleague Anders and a couple folks from our customer Vestas, digging into the details of how this works, as well as thinking aloud about what Iceberg might unlock next.
A theme we're focused on for DBT Core right now is better support for your largest data sets. So that includes microbatch, but also sample mode, which we're planning to tackle next. Imagine being able to say, while developing, I only ever want to look at the last 3 days of data.
Well, that sounds like a thing that people have been doing forever by doing like custom overrides of the ref or source macro. This way sounds better.
This way is the standard. We've also been seeing a lot of feature requests that are super compelling under the theme of better macros, things like being able to unit test macros, native support for Python UDFs, but really we want to hear from all of you. What do you struggle most with when using DBT today? What custom solution have you had to hack together multiple times that you wish DBT just offered out of the box?
And what's the right way for all those folks to give us feedback?
There's a lot of different ways. You can upvote or comment in GitHub. You can open up a discussion or discourse post when something's not so clear-cut. If you solve a unique problem, you can share it. A blog post, DBT meetups, talks at Coalesce. And if you really want to get into the weeds, you can open up a pull request for one of the issues in our open source repos tagged Help Wanted, and our engineering team will work with you to get it over the finish line.
And you can make your voices heard by filling out the Analytics Engineering Survey for 2025. We take the results of this survey very seriously. It really helps us building our product, thinking and knowing about what's easy and what's hard for data teams today.
We are committed to defending dbt core as the industry standard for data transformation. And we want you with us every step of the way as active partners and collaborators.
We really want to hear from all of you. Whether you're a dbt Cloud customer today, someone who's been using dbt core for many years, or someone who learned about dbt for the very first time this week, you're a part of this community. And it's a very special community to be a part of.
Speaking of, we are now going to have an opportunity to recognize some of the individuals who help make this community so special. So to do that, please help me welcome Amada to the stage to present our community awards.
Hello, thank you, great job. How's it going, everyone? Hello, hello. So I'm Awards Amada. If we haven't already met, I'm on the community team at dbt Labs. In a moment, we're about to start presenting the community awards. If you're wondering, wait, how'd they get up there and how can I get up there next year? Well, that's by engaging and contributing in the community. And there are lots and lots of ways to do that. And I want you to know I'm a central point of contact for you all, so you can message me in Slack anytime or come up to me after the presentation to chat about whatever it is you want to get started with right after Coalesce. So I'd just like to take a moment to thank Lightdash and Zenlytic for sponsoring the Merit Grant this year. There are two wonderful folks here whose attendance is only possible thanks to their support, so give it up for them. So I'm super happy to be with all of you here today. Thanks for sticking with us to day 4 and waking up early for this keynote. I have the true honor of presenting the second annual dbt Community Awards. And now I'm going to need your help to congratulate your fellow community members for their hard work and contributions. So what is the award? The Community Award is our way of recognizing community members from around the globe who embody what it means to be an advocate within the dbt community. They exemplify collaboration, expertise, creativity, and leadership. Some folks are here, and others are tuning in remotely from around the world. We hope you're excited. Get ready to clap it up. So, nominated by you, the community, we have 8 award winners this year. The categories are right behind me. We had over 200 nominations from all of you. It was really hard to pick just 8 folks, so thank you to everyone who submitted a nomination. So the first award is the Community Champion Award. This award recognizes exceptional helpfulness within the Slack community. The recipient is someone who exemplifies selflessness, consistently offering support, and providing clear, thoughtful answers to an impressive number of questions, contributing to the overall success of others. This year's winner of the Community Champion Award is Mike Stanley. Yeah. Tuning in from Gloucester, UK, Mike has been very, very helpful in dbt Slack, answering questions in channels like Advice for dbt Power Users, Advice dbt Help, DB BigQuery, and more. In the last 365 days, for example, he has responded to others' posts 2,355 times. Mike is a truly humble community member who doesn't need credit or awards. Let's just say Mike doesn't even have a profile picture in Slack. Had to fight for this headshot. The second award is the Vibe Virtuoso Award. This award recognizes excellence in curating in-person experiences for the dbt community. The recipient is someone who organizes engaging, consistent meetups and events that bring people together, foster deep connections, and showcase high-quality, fun, and educational content in their city. This year's winner of the Vibe Virtuoso Award is Ruth Onyekwe. Tuning in from Madrid, Spain, Ruth and her team have organized 9 DBT meetups with just one last week in the last year and a half all over Barcelona. She has helped to grow the local meetup group to over 900 members and actively encourages members to present their use cases so others can benefit. Ruth helps connect community members who are looking to learn new skills, find work, and share ideas with each other. Ruth is passionate about bringing technologies and best practices to fellow data practitioners in Spain and all around Europe. The third award is the Trailblazing Innovator Award. This award celebrates pioneering spirit and fearless innovation. The recipient is a true trailblazer, the first to take bold steps and push boundaries in the DBT community, paving the way for others to follow. This year's winner of the Trailblazing Innovator Award is, actually more than one person, the original DBT Athena maintainers. Give it up for them. Tuning in from all over Europe, Jeremy, Nicolas, Jesse, Mattia, and Serhi are this year's winners. You saw us talk about DBT Athena during the keynote on Tuesday. That wouldn't have been possible without the work of this very group. This group of people met via DBT Slack in the DB Athena channel with the aim to make DBT Athena a production-ready adapter. They were thoughtful in how they implemented it, built everything that was needed, including packages, and supported community folks who used it. Their work is one of the reasons why DBT Athena is one of the most popular community adapters to date. The fourth award is the Open Source Powerhouse Award. This award recognizes exceptional contributions to DBT's open source codebases. The recipient is a dedicated contributor who provides invaluable feedback, submits meaningful improvements, and helps shape the future of our technology. This year's winner of the Open Source Powerhouse Award is Christophe Houdard. Tuning in from Montpellier, France, Christophe has been a part of the DBT community since 2021. He has contributed a lot of thought and solutions to BigQuery, and he's really helped us understand how to improve it. He hardly brags, but his community contributions to DBT codebases have not gone unnoticed. He wrote an article that was then featured on DevBlog called BigQuery, Ingestion Time Partitioning and Partition Copy with DBT. Christophe also writes about data engineering on Medium and Substack. Give it up for him. The fifth award is the DBT Knowledge Dynamo Award. This award honors those who ignite learning and drive educational growth within the DBT community. The recipient actively sparks curiosity, facilitates knowledge sharing, and empowers others through their passion for education. This year's winner of the DBT Knowledge Dynamo Award is Megan Palmer. Tuning in from Sydney, Australia, Megan started the awesome bi-weekly newsletter called Analytics Engineering Today that highlights a lot of features of DBT and shares our best practices and new features. Megan is huge on educational drives in the community. Did you know she runs training for DBT Cloud customers? She's also active in the DBT Slack, and through her newsletter and trainings, Megan helps individuals and companies employ DBT in the best way possible. The sixth award is the Catalyst of Impact Award. This award celebrates those who make a profound impact on the careers and development of others. The recipient is a mentor, teacher, and guide, empowering members of the community to grow, learn, and excel. This year's winner of the Catalyst of Impact Award is Bruno Souza de Lima. Bruno is not tuning in from anywhere because he's here in person, and he's getting a community award for the second year in a row. He flew in all the way from Floripa, Brazil. And this year in particular, we'd like to thank and celebrate Bruno for his outstanding contribution to the DBT product documentation site. Bruno shared a clear diagram explaining defer on LinkedIn, which led to a collaboration that resulted in a DBT-branded version being integrated into our open source docs. Bruno also co-organizes DBT meetups in Floripa and in Sao Paulo, writes about DBT-related products on Medium and on LinkedIn, contributes to DBT code, and is active in Slack and on Discourse. The 7th award is for Influencer Extraordinaire of the Year. This award honors those whose hard work and dedication inspire others to achieve great things. The recipient not only leads by example, but creates opportunities for others to learn, develop, and expand their potential. This year's winner of the Influencer Extraordinaire of the Year award is Opeyemi Fabi. Opeyemi is also here with us in person. He flew 16 hours all the way from Lagos, Nigeria, and he's also receiving a community award for the 2nd year in a row. Opeyemi is the founder of a data community in Nigeria called Young Data Professionals. He has been running the Lagos DBT meetup for the last 3 years, where his meetups consistently convene well over 100 attendees. Ope has provided opportunities for others to speak, network, and upskill. Ope received almost 140 nominations for this award. That's out of 209. The 8th and final award today is the Data Governance Excellence Award. This award acknowledges outstanding contributions in the public sector and data governance. The recipient creates and shares valuable content, drives important conversations about using DBT for public sector projects, and champions data governance best practices. This year's winner of the Data Governance Excellence Award is Jenna Jordan. Joining us from Asheville, Jenna Jordan is also with us in person today. She has written very thoughtful posts about DBT on LinkedIn on topics like documentation, the DBT mesh migration journey, and cross-project references. In a previous role, Jenna played a pivotal role in modernizing the City of Boston Analytics team's data infrastructure by spearheading the adoption of DBT. She also led the creation and actively maintains the industry public sector Slack channel. Jenna led a peer exchange at the Chicago DBT meetup and at Coalesce this year, which you may have attended, called Governance Collab. We the people, in order to govern data, do establish processes. At Coalesce 2023, she also gave a talk called From Coast to Coast, Implementing DBT in the Public Sector. And now, I'd like to invite the 3 award winners who are here with us today for a quick chat. Please help me welcome Bruno, Opeyemi, and Jenna to the stage. Hey. Welcome. So, as a community, we're stronger together. This panel is all about how we support each other every day. We can't do our best work alone. Nobody can. And nobody truly shines without being part of a community. So today, we'd love to hear how you connected with others and what you've learned from those experiences. So, we'll start with Jenna. I just want to go around the panel here so folks can get a quick recap of who you are. Could you please share your name, role, and where you're based? Jenna?
Mm-hmm. Hi, I'm Jenna Jordan. I'm a senior data management consultant with Analytics 8, and I recently moved to Asheville, North Carolina from Boston, Massachusetts.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. My name is Okpe. I'm based in Lagos, Nigeria. I work on the analytics engineering team at Data Culture, a data consulting firm based in New York. Outside of work, I'm very passionate about community development. I founded one of the most vibrant data community in Nigeria, and also one of the organizing team for the largest data conference in Africa called Data First Africa. So excited to be here in person this year.
Thank you. And Bruno.
So, hey everyone, I'm Bruno. I'm a senior data engineer at PH Data, and I'm from Florianópolis, Brazil. And I'm very happy to be here in person this time, my first Coalesce. And I can speak for the three of us. We are very nervous. This is scary.
So, for those of you who remember from our analytics engineering report, we had a very important and serious question. So I just want to hear from all of you. Cilantro, aka coriander, yes or no? Ope?
I actually don't have a response because I haven't tasted it. So I'll pass to Jada.
I don't get the soapy taste, but still no.
Yeah, and I'm not even sure I've tried it, but given the answers of the last survey, I'm a bit afraid to do it.
Amazing. So, Opeyemi, you first. What originally drew you to the DBT community, and how has joining influenced your professional journey?
I joined the DBT community. Actually, the first time I heard DBT was in 2021. I recently joined an organization as a data scientist, only to realize that there was no data infrastructure in place. And that would mean I needed to build data infrastructure ground up. As a then, I didn't have any data engineering experience. So Anshel started reaching out to people on LinkedIn, what do I do? And someone said, I think DBT is going to solve your problem. And I started Googling, what is DBT? Then I stumbled on Tristan article on modern data stack, past, present, and future. And that was really insightful for me. And I joined the community, asked my dumb question, I'm new here, how do I do this? And also fascinating for me was I left Slack, came back 2 hours later, and I got tons of responses and comments on how to navigate, what I needed to do, how to set up the infrastructure. And that's pretty much all the support I needed then. I was the only data team, but the community served like a data team for me where at every point in time when I'm stuck, I easily can just ask questions and people are just there to help. And that's just been phenomenal for me. And also fun fact, I got my current job through the job channel in DBT. So it has really been an amazing community for me.
Amazing, I didn't know that actually. So Bruno.
Okay, so it's a bit funny because I joined the DBT community doing something for myself first, not for the community, but I will explain it. So I was working at Indicium at the time, and I was a total beginner to DBT, and I was trying to learn it and making notes for myself. And I like cheat sheets, so I created one cheat sheet of DBT commands for me. And I showed my boss at the time, Daniel Avancini. He's here, by the way. Maybe you've met him. And he said, "Oh, you should share it with the community." And I was like, "Okay, what's the community?" I wasn't even on Slack. Then I joined and I shared it. And for my surprise, people really liked that. And really, okay. So now I want to do more of this, and I started creating content, and people were liking it. So I got really engaged and started answering questions on Slack, asking questions, and talking to people. And now here I am. So it doesn't matter if you are a totally beginner or a pro in DBT. Like you can join the community, and it will for sure bring someone. It will be rewarding for you.
And Jenna, let's hear from you.
So I first heard about DBT also in 2021, but over Thanksgiving. So I was gathered together with my family for Thanksgiving. I was in the middle of applying for a data engineering job with the city of Boston, and my brother, who also works in the data community, was like, well, if you're going to be in data, you got to know DBT. And I'm like, DBT, what's that? And when he was explaining, I was like, data tests, the testing for uniqueness, why not just enforce your primary keys? So I didn't get it yet. And then I ended up getting the job with the city of Boston and had my first chance to work with the data warehouse. And within a month of starting that job, I also took the Analytics Engineering with DBT Co-Rise course with Emily Hawkins and Jake Hannon. Yeah. And so kind of learned DBT at the same time as learning what is a data warehouse, what do ETL processes look like. And so it's just, I learned a lot within those first couple months. And as I continued to work on the engineering team, it's like, I think DBT could help here. I think it could really improve how we do things. And it took me about a year to get to that point, but eventually did manage to bring DBT to the team, and it's still going.
Great, thank you. So Bruno, I'm going to start with you. Can you share a specific example of how connecting with someone in the community led to a breakthrough or collaboration in your work?
Yeah, I think my best example for like something in my career journey for that is like the job I'm actually in. So my work at PHData is thanks to the DBT community, because I was creating some content and a guy from PHData, his name is Thales, he connected with me to ask some questions, and I was discussing DBT with him, and he asked for some tips for the certification. I helped him getting certified. And then for this and for my activity in the community, he referred me to PHData, and now I work at PHData. So yeah, that's huge.
Great. And Jenna, let's hear from you.
Can you remind me of the question?
Just want to hear an example of how connecting with someone in the community led to a breakthrough or collaboration in your work.
So when I was starting the DBT project at the city, like I was the only person on the team who knew DBT, and I was a beginner. So I was like, I can't do this by myself. I have so many questions, not just around like technical details, but like architecture and like big decisions. And fortunately, I didn't have to do it by myself because there was the DBT community. And so I could ask questions in the Slack space. I would DM some of the folks at DBT Labs and ask questions. And it's like, it's only through that extended community and the help that I got through them that I was able to kind of get that project started on my own, but not really on my own.
All right, thank you. And Ope, what about you?
Yeah, I haven't said earlier in my previous job, and yeah, reaching out to the community and asking questions. I think one thing that was also very helpful was that there were a couple of people that would jump on the call with me, and I know then they would schedule like every 2 weeks session, such that I would ask questions, and then they would unblock me on what I was doing. So having that community where everyone is selfless, ready to just jump in to help out, was just the springboard I needed for my career. And yes, aside the fact that yes, I got a job through the community, which has also been helpful. And now even on my role, when I have some problem, I know that I just needed to do is probably search the keyword on Slack. I know somebody have probably asked that question before, and that kind of just give me a bit of direction on how to approach any problem.
Great. So we'll stick with you. Given that you traveled the furthest, I'd love to hear how your local data culture has shaped your experience within this global community. Like what makes your community special?
The Nigerian community, and broadly speaking, the African data community, I would say is one shaped by challenges and opportunity. We're in an environment where innovation is born out of necessity, and that has greatly influenced my interaction with the global community. For context, we have a lot of challenges as well, a lot of systematic issues that kind of make it easy to access some opportunity as well as limited access to resources. And that has basically fueled our necessity to depend on community-driven initiatives for knowledge sharing as well as other education. For example, I was unable to attend Coalesce 2 years ago and last year, even though I really wanted to be here, but due to visa challenges, I couldn't make it. And that's the reality of an average Nigerian and African data community where we don't have the opportunity to access this opportunity. But however, leaning on investing on our own local community, like the local DBT meetups and other data communities in Nigeria, we host our own local conferences. Like I mentioned, I'm one of the organizers of the largest data conference in Africa. And also the support we get from a community like DBT, and that's why we're so passionate about DBT, because of it's a community, it's a tool that is driven by people and community. So getting those support kind of help us to be able to get all the necessary things we needed. So I say that to say this, something that is unique about the Nigerian African community is that collaborative mindset and that resilience that we have that amidst the different challenges that we have from our environment, we're able to lean on ourselves as well as a community to be able to break those barriers and also serve as springboard for ourselves. And that's why I see that the Nigerian data community is so vibrant and so robust.
Thank you. So I want to hear from all of you on this, but we'll start with Bruno. How do you balance contributing to the community with the demands of your day-to-day job? And is there any advice you have for others looking to get more involved?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's a really good question because a lot of people think, okay, I work like 40 hours a week, and how will I have time to like contribute to the community and engage with the community? And I think for me, work and the community are really related. I think about 3 points. Like, if you are learning something new for work, you can share it with the community. Like, I like to learn things by writing or trying to explain it to someone. So you can write a blog or make a LinkedIn post. You will grow on work and with the community. If you have some problem at work, you can ask the community, or you can, like Opo said, you can search in Slack because probably someone had already asked this before. And if you accomplish something at work or you solved a good problem or made something cool, you can also share with the community. So yeah, I think all those 3 points, if you have some problem, if you accomplish something, or if you're learning something new, you can do both on work and the community.
Great, thank you. Jenna, do you have anything to add?
I think that something that makes the DBT community really interesting to work on is it's constantly evolving, constant new features. Even just looking at DBT core, it's sometimes hard to keep up. And I found that the best way to keep up and be better able to do my job working on DBT projects is to stay in touch with the community. Like, that's how I learn. It's how I progress. And, there's also the aspect of paying it forward. I would not have been able to do everything that I can do without the help of other members of the community. So I'm like scrolling through the Slack, just trying to see what's going on. If I see a question and I know the answer to it, I'm going to go ahead and answer it because it can help somebody. And also, like, sometimes you make friends that way.
And Obiemi, how do you balance your role with contributing, and do you have any advice for others?
Yeah, they've said it all. I would say, yeah, it can really be challenging, but I've just found a way to integrate it into my work. It could just be during lunchtime, I'll go on Slack as well as my WhatsApp data community, just see questions that people are asking, because the reality is my response might just be that clarity that person needs. And also, it's just a learning opportunity for me such that even if I don't have an answer, I know that getting responses from people, seeing people's response just also help me to learn the problem people are facing and how they're approaching it. So that's just one thing I would advise. It's just, yes, it can feel overwhelming, but just looking for those pockets of time that you have. It might just be 5 minutes to respond to someone's question. And also from meetup organization and all, I would say it has largely been driven by, I said earlier about the collaborative mindset that we have, but it has largely been driven based on, I have an amazing team, shout out to them, I know they're watching now. So also, you could also leverage your network. It might just be volunteering to organize local meetups, and that may just be you volunteering to want to speak because you definitely have a lot of experience that someone would love to listen to. I mean, it also be a function of you leaning on your network to probably recommend speakers to speak at those events, because I know that may also be a bit challenging. So that may just be those ways you could leverage to be able to engage with your community, and just as Jenna has said, you also get to meet people and make friends.
Great, thank you so much. So Jenna, this one's for you. How do you see the role of data communities evolving in the next few years, and especially with the rapid changes in technology and remote collaboration?
Okay. I have a slightly opinionated take on this that is influenced by my background in library and information science, which is that I'm going to also shout out Juan Cicada here, who gave a talk on Tuesday. I think we really need to focus on transitioning what we do from data work to knowledge work. And there are technologies around that, like knowledge graphs and ontologies, but I think carrying forward the idea of doing data modeling, there's knowledge that can be encoded in what we do, and I think I would love to see that, kind of become more of an emphasis and focus in what we do. We shouldn't be asking, do we bring any business value? That should be like, of course we do. We carry forward the institutional knowledge and make it easier for everyone to access. It is, one of the most important things that makes a business, any organization, unique is the knowledge that they have.
Great, thank you. And Opeyemi, anything to add on how you see the role of communities evolving? No pressure, you can skip.
I didn't have.
Okay, that's fine. So, Bruno, in your opinion, what role does mentorship play in data communities? And have you had any key mentors or mentees that stand out in your journey? And feel free to talk about career mentors in general. It doesn't have to be a data mentor specifically.
Yeah, I really think mentorship is very, it's very good, not just for data communities, but for your whole career. And because a mentor is usually someone that has more experience than you and maybe have gone through the same thing as you are going through now, so they can give some more point of views, another perspective, and then help you with your problems and achieve your goals. And I just wanted to highlight, I think, two mentors that I had. One was when I was working at Indicium. I had already mentioned him, but Daniel, he was an awesome boss, awesome mentor. I think that at that time I was not aware about the importance of a mentor, but I should have used him more. But with time, I was aware of this importance, and now I consider Dakota Kelly. He presented a session with me on Tuesday, and I consider him my mentor, and I ask him questions all the time. And just to wrap it up, some people think, okay, how can I get a mentor? And of course, you can pay for a mentor. That's okay if you have money and if you want it. And there are some really good professionals. But you can also make your friend your mentor, make your coworker your mentor, make your boss your mentor. Just ask him questions, tell them about your issues, about your problems. Ask help for them. You will realize that people are mostly willing to help you, even if it doesn't. We might think the other way.
Yeah, fantastic, thank you. And Jenna, have you had any mentors?
I'm going to give a shout out to someone who has been my mentor my whole life, which is my mom. And also, it was her birthday yesterday, so happy birthday, Mom. Whether it was helping me think through SQL queries in my databases class, reviewing my resumes, giving me feedback on my blog posts. She's someone who I can always go to for advice and also the technical help and guidance. She's had her whole career in tech, and there's nothing more reassuring than knowing that I can always go and ask her a question. And also, my brother is, he is younger, but he got started in the tech community before me. And so when I was first learning Python, SQL, I go and ask him questions, and he's the reason I got started with the DBT community.
Amazing. So Opeyemi, I would love to hear some about mentorship from you. I know your data community has some mentorship integrated.
Yeah, personally, whilst I haven't had like a direct mentorship, actually have a lot of indirect mentor. And one thing I've always leveraged is my relationship with my bosses everywhere I've worked. So I know, yes, they've grown the path I'm treading now, so that way I'm able to ask all the necessary questions, and that helped me guide my career. And also, yes, in my community, I think the role that I've played is kind of just help guide people on things they need to learn, because yes, I've been there, and that kind of just help springboard their growth, such that they don't have to go through the hassle I went through. And that way, you also create like a ripple effect, because when I do that to people, that way too, everyone in the community see that need to also reciprocate that to other people in the lower tiers in the community.
Thank you. So our last question, I really want to hear what's the most rewarding part of being a member of this community, and what do you hope to see more of in the future? And Jenna, we'll go with you.
So I think one of the things that, when I first started looking at DBT, one of the standout things about the community that made me know that this was a place that I could be and I could join was just the inclusivity. I think that inclusivity is core to the DBT community, has been from the start. When you look around in the DBT community, there's going to be somebody who looks like you, and there's going to be a lot of people who don't look like you, people you can identify with, and people you can learn from. And like whether it's the kinds and levels of technical skills you have, other types of skills, there is nothing better than knowing that in this tech industry, which can so often have so many biases in it, this is one place where you're always going to be welcomed, you're not going to be judged, you are included, and you have a place here. And I want to see that always carried forward as a core aspect of the DBT community. So anybody who is newer to the community, I hope that you have also felt that and continue to carry forward that tradition.
I love that answer. Thank you so much. So congratulations to all of the award winners. Give it up to them again. And thank you so much. Bye. So, to learn more about Bruno, Opeyemi, and Jenna, and the other community award winners, you can read their full stories on DevHub and on the Community Spotlight, which will go live in a few weeks. And folks, we need all of you, and we wouldn't be a community without you. So give it up for the community. So thank you so much. That's it for me. Let's welcome Grace back up to the stage.
All right, thank you, Amada, Opeyemi, Bruno, and Jenna. As you've heard throughout this morning, community is a central part of everything we do here at DBT Labs. Simply put, we can't do this without you. Thank you for continuing to go on this journey with us together as one DBT. And in that spirit, I couldn't close this out without my co-MCs. So Alexis, Leslie, get back up here.
All right, team, almost done, I promise. What an incredible 3 days it's been. Thank you all so much for your time, energy, and attention all week. Leslie, what's the coffee count at?
Oh, I definitely have not been counting that, but I do know I have counted at least 6 costumes this week.
Yep, can confirm.
Were the product announcements everything that you wanted them to be?
Yeah, they were incredible, and it's just been really amazing to see the response from our customers and community members about them. The demo booth has been buzzing nonstop, and personally, our marketing team is very excited to continue to tell these stories in the market.
Okay, Before we wrap up, I've got a few reminders for you. If you haven't already done so, don't forget to stop by the DBT Expert Zone and Discovery Hall to connect with our sponsors and learn from our DBT experts. It is not too late to join the conversation on social. I've loved the chatter in the Coalesce 2024 Slack channel, so keep it coming for the rest of the day. Post your pictures and your favorite memories from the week. And a final reminder, if you're not a part of the DBT community Slack, joining is easy. Simply go to getdbt.com/community to sign up.
And before we wrap up, we've got one final announcement for you.
We've had so much fun this year that we couldn't leave without making a plan for next year.
Coalesce is happening again in 2025. Woo. We're excited to share that we'll be back here in Vegas next October 6th through 9th. Maybe we can all share a jaffle at Cirque du Jaffle. Bookmark coalesce.getdbt.com to be on the lookout for key announcements. We look forward to seeing you here again. So that's a wrap for our main stage presentations of Coalesce 2024, but we still have a full day of sessions before we have to say goodbye. Thank you again, everyone, whether you're here in this room or joining us online, for continuing to go on this journey with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.